Hi folks, welcome to the 8 Regents of Westeros tournament. So we have our round 6 starting today, and it's Baratheon against Greyjoy. So these are the 7 players that will be involved, and starting with Peter, who is playing against Alexander Schulte from the Greyjoy team. And the game is about to start, so let's have a look. Okay, we have crossing, a strong agenda, maybe not that associated with Greyjoy in recent times, against assault from the shadows for Baratheon, which also is pretty strong. Although maybe not that strong statistically. Before the tournament started, I think it had a win rate below 50% in the last year or so. But hopefully that was just slightly misleading, and it's stronger than it seems. I have the Intimidate Victarion, which could be a good one for Alexander here. And on the other hand, we have Black Cells on the start and Northern Encampment, which is a nice location, but you need the Iron Throne. Although crossing, I guess you can be reasonably sure that they will kneel out their characters to attack. So not so bad. You can maybe get away with winning dominance without the Iron Throne occasionally. And a surprise here, using the Acolyte just to see the deck. And the 2 cards placed on the bottom. 2 Maesters in play, so that suggests to me that Outwit might be in the deck. And here is an Intrigue icon, which is exactly what Eusebio here wanted to do the crossing challenge, of course. Now, Black Cells can, of course, be used to prevent it from being used, but Sea Bitch can take it, and it should, I think. Now that would give Eusebio a good start, I think. Okay, half of the set here. We have the chamber, no throne, and protected against that annoying 2 gold that is still available. Let's see what gets put into shadows here, if anything. Agenda, of course, is optional. You do have the occasional card that kneels the faction card. Okay, marshalling virtually the entire hand with that peace and prosperity, things working out perfectly, and still 4 gold left. Now the problem is now that Sea Bitch will take Black Cells, I think, as the first action. Or will it? No. Okay, and that means that Peter just triggers it. Power challenge, and then military with Victarion will intimidate something. Yeah. It was risky, leaving it unopposed, and we do not. So getting rid of Black Cells is a big play here. I guess that's why that Sea Bitch didn't trigger, hoping to do this. Would have done it on the military challenge anyway, so there was no way to stop it, even if Peter opposed this, unless he had privileged position. Okay, now Victarion is not going to bother with the military challenge. Sweet slip, nice. Would have blocked the traitor. And now dominance needs to be taken, and I think, yeah, That means Peter needs to pass, and he can use the chamber to get the power instead. And his northern armory still standing. Problem is, he has spent the hand to do this. Only 2 cards left, and black cells is now gone to stop the crossing. So let's see if there is any draw, and going for siege preparations immediately. On the other hand, we have king in the north, so that should be pretty strong here. Victarion will be able to use his intimidate. Stealth still works on Vendemir, but stuff like northern encampment and chamber will not work this round. Nor will, of course, the economy for Eusebio. And keeping 4 gold this time. Difficult to spend it as Greyjoy in the challenges phase. There are events, as we saw earlier, we do not sow. There is also a 2-coster that is pretty decent. The Bloody Cup. Nice Iron Throne, that should be a strong combination now with Throne and Chamber for the rest of the game. Not this round because of the plot, but initiative also is increased, which means siege preparations will be able to draw an additional card. But Eusebio will of course try to do damage in the challenges phase. Red Keep also cannot trigger and doesn't really need to because of the plot, but it's a decent investment, and this could be... There is a card that can come in for free, Red Keep Gowler, but I think it would be stopped by King in the North this round, so it's not an option. Alistair could have been useful in Shadows, so this must be better. And that leaves 3 power on defense against Shireen, which is not enough because of the Red Keep, unless of course it gets destroyed. Let's see. No, crossing unopposed power, and now I think Peter does power back with Shireen. And I think one character will defend. And that makes it 5-4 after dominance. Now don't forget siege preparations. Okay. Now I would assume the Harris is the reset. And that's not doing much against this surprisingly low cost curve, so would be able to keep 4 characters against it. So I guess Peter kind of stuck. He needs to try to prevent the crossing target the icons with some Neil and Black Cells, which is unfortunately gone. He's playing it anyway, that's unfortunate. Against you win or you die. So now whatever comes into play here will of course escape the reset. Yeah, maybe better play was to delay that reset for another round, but then of course as I said, 2 Maesters smells like outwit in the Greyjoy deck. Just about the worst possible card. Asha, but she does not have any stand, so can only trigger once, and of course her draw is useless because of the 0 reserve. Now what's going on here? Something else coming in? No. Protecting the throne, so throne and chamber well protected. This is quite good. Melisandre. Cancel for her, unfortunate. Would have been so nice to kneel the only intrigue icon here. That's the second one now gone. Actually, the hair is okay, so the other one is at the bottom if nothing shuffles the deck, if I'm not mistaken. Traitor for Asha. Still the agenda can be used to put something in shadows. And it's not horrible here for Peter. This time he does have a working red keep, he does have throne and chamber, and there is still of course sea beach, which can take the red keep just to mess with the power challenge a little bit, I think. And is there a way to stop this one? Would be nice if one of those red keep golders was in shadows, and it is. Putting power on a safe character. Is there another one? He's put some power back. No, just defense. So it will be 2 claim, but no intimidate. And Gowler and the reducer can go. Now Asha needs to do intrigue because she has traitor. And this is 2 claim, so unfortunate again for Peter. But then can he stop the power challenge to get the red keep trigger? It will be 2 claim, so red priest pillaged, too bad. Now let's see, so stealthing past Shireen. Would be 10 against 5. If he attacked with everything, so yeah. That would be strong enough. Okay, so that's now 3. And that means it can be defended now. Sea Beach could take the red keep here, just to make sure this goes through, but then it's of course spent. I think it may be worth it. Yeah. Now it's a problem because Shireen also cannot beat the little guy because of that red keep. So costly round. Zebio up to 9. And he's got the 2 claim intrigue to get rid of the hand. All the cards in shadow spent. And a lot of that comes from the cancel that he had for Melisandre, and of course getting rid of black cells. Without that, Peter was doing well. However, now of course Sea Beach is gone, cards down to 0. 2 traitors in play, or all 3 in fact. And yeah, time for turning it around. Asha, I think, might have been searching for that superior claim, so good job investing in defense there to prevent the win by 5. And let's see, so you need to kneel a raider for this to work, and there isn't one at the moment. So it's just a plot that wins initiative. Delena could do with Buster of Nightsong. Maybe not in this deck. So she takes Edric. And doesn't look like there is a kneel for Asha, unfortunately. Getting the rest into shadows. And again, I think Eusebio will be able to do all 3 challenges, unfortunately here. Just the 1 claim this time. And Victarion, the only character with renown. Six gold left. I guess there's no real reason to put Storm's End into shadows if you have it. Could have just marshaled that, so I'm guessing it's not Storm's End, which might have messed with Asha on the Intrigue challenge potentially. So Golder again will come in just to oppose, stop any intimidate. Using his ability, of course, and that keeps all the gold, and yeah, he was put into shadows with the shadow cost. He didn't have a token, but this card does, so could be anything. And yeah, unfortunately Peter keeps killing those military icons. He will run out of it now, so more difficult to oppose the military challenge. Now Asha will force Melisandre to oppose, which she does. And the big search, that's annoying, although the reclaim should come from the other side as well now. And this one, if it can be defended, it should be because of the red keep draw, and not to mention the crossing trigger. And yeah, spending absolutely everything. There's another red keep goaler, it can be defended, otherwise I think it's going through. Imri, okay. Not sure what the point is in bringing him out right now. Is he going to defend with everything here and not do anything back? I guess that's an option. Let's see. Yeah, he would have just enough with everything except Shireen. That protects the red keep as well. Then Shireen can do the challenge back. Unfortunately, if you do that, then you're not getting the intrigue claim. And Asha was able to search a decent number of cards for something Eusebio will be able to use next round. Now there was the shuffle, so that fanatic that was on the bottom, of course, could be anywhere in the deck right now. There could even be one in hand. And when the chamber triggers, it's going to be Peter ahead. Eight-7. And Imri in play. So whenever you have Imri, of course, you can try to win the game in one round. So let's imagine you win 3 unopposed challenges and get the power claim. That's 4. And Throne in Chamber is 6, so he is on 8 power. At the moment, if he was on 9, he could just go for it. And not taking any chances here is Zebo. He's just going to kill Imri to make sure that doesn't happen, and he has the saves, unfortunately, to keep characters in play. So let's hope the Red Keep drew something, because this is a monster save here, saving Victarion, Asha and Meister Vendemir all at the same time. That was the risk of bringing Imri, of course, out of shadows just to defend that last challenge. If Eusebio played something else here, not Morgulis, and then had his whatever 7 characters in play, I can imagine that Imri can just do his sacrifice and gets Peter somewhere close to victory. But not now. And power still 8-7, being able to keep all of it. Delena is gone, so Asha can just stand like crazy now with the Maiden's Bane if she does the challenges, and the Meister can potentially stop the chamber, although he might be needed for challenges here. There is gold for Peter, so question is, what has he top decked? Hopefully not the dead Delena and Melisandre. Alright, Sarevdon can even be used on the encampment here to get more gold. Still think Storm's End would be a nice card. Just characters with traitors, and turning that into a power challenge, of course, means they do nothing. So we have Meister Muramon standing. He would need to cancel that. Milk for Asha. Milk for Victarion. I guess he could have done military and intimidate. And 1 card left, which should be going into shadows ideally. No. Stays in hand, not using the agenda. And I guess we'll see right away what it is, if it can be spent. Otherwise, better play, I guess, was to put it into shadows. Actually, the claim is 0, so we won't know. And here is where Asha attempts to refill the hand. And with her stealth, keeps standing, getting the unopposed. That's why I was thinking maybe Maiden's Bane could have been stopped with a milk on Asha. But then, of course, they attack together. They just intimidate Shireen, and it's a problem. This way Peter can still do the military back, and the power, I mean, military will force one of these two to defend, because Eusebia doesn't have characters to spare. Let's see, can he do the crossing challenge successfully? Yeah, starting both. That gives Asha another stand, unfortunately. Standing Meister instead, okay. And gets him up to 11. And yet another card in hand. Now let's keep this time. Yeah, unopposed, Shireen would have stopped it anyway, the defense. And this one I think shouldn't do, because he's just feeding Victarion's renown with this. Unless he has a way to use that card that has remained in hand, so... Oh, never mind, he has milk anyway, okay. And Meister stops the chamber, so it's 11-10. Unfortunately now, claim is back, and the Harris is spent. So Peter goes for the gold, and Eusebio goes for the power. So he can win here before Peter gets a chance. It's game over. Of course, Asha did get the perfect cards, presumably. Here comes Victarion as well. Back in business. So he has his renown, he has his intimidate, and he has his power icon. Yeah, what could be the best possible cards here, I guess. Black Cells in Shadows would be nice, but I don't think that's the card. And now, of course, it is to claim. I think this is game over. And the Kraken's Grasp. Okay, it's one from the past. We'll make it unopposed. Yeah, was optimistic a few rounds back, but went downhill pretty quickly, unfortunately, with Asha and Victarion. Yeah, getting Red Priest now, of course, when he can avoid Intimidate, but yeah, 2 Kraken's Grasp in hand. What are we gonna do? So, bad start for Baratheon this time. Greyjoy takes the first one with a strong deck, crossing against Assault from the Shadows. Yeah, some big plays early on, getting rid of the black cells. Storm's End might have helped. It's questionable because the Meister was here, of course, to cancel it late in the game. But yeah, the big one was, of course, Morghulis killing off Delena and Melisandre. There's one card still stuck in hand. I guess it's a dead one. And just playing that to Harris a bit too early because Alexander kept so many characters. There was no real need to play it at that point. Maybe just go for the gold, put stuff in shadows and into play, and then the Harris after you win or you die, I guess, would have got rid of either Victarion and Asha if my suspicion, of course, was unfounded that the last plot was outwit. Maybe it wasn't. And then I think Peter becomes the favorite. But okay. It is what it is, so that means Baratheon needs to win 4 of the remaining 6 now. And we have 2 games coming up tonight. So thanks for joining me on this one and see you next time.